I think I'll be sort of talking to a large audience because I feel like there's a message that people need to hear around what they can achieve and that they
Yes.
can follow their dreams and do it. Just you can do it. And so you absolutely can, especially when it's something you're passionate about. People resonate with passion.
Welcome to Big Crystal Energy, Season 3, the Veil Season. I'm Ashley, and I live at the threshold between medicine and magic, between the visible world and what waits just beyond it, between the person I present and the witch I am. I've learned something. The in-between isn't a problem to solve. It's a place of power. This season, we're exploring the veil, where Victorian women spoke for the dead, where fairies guard the crossroads, where glamour becomes armor, where you stop apologizing for being both things at once. The crystals have always known the way through. Let me show you. Welcome back to Big Crystal Energy. I'm Ashley, and I am so excited because I have the amazing, the beautiful Markella from Letters of the Zodiac here with me, and she is coming to us all the way from Australia. Yay! I am just so excited to talk with you. Markella, welcome to Big Crystal Energy.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I'm so excited to be here. And I have to start by saying that I love the name of the podcast, Big Crystal Energy. It's giving. So I'm so excited to be here and to chat with you.
Yay, yes. So I mean, I guess maybe we'll get into it a little bit later into the podcast, but somehow Markella's work with her Instagram and her business came into my world, you know, the way the algorithm works. And I just started following her. And then she's just literally been blowing up. Her business, her Instagram, everything has been going wild. And it's truly because she is the cutest, sweetest, loveliest person. And I think everybody's seeing that. But yesterday, she hit a huge milestone. When did you hit the milestone? This last week or so?
Last week. Yeah, I'd say in the last week.
She hit a huge milestone, getting 1,000 subscribers. And Markella, tell us what you did yesterday.
So to celebrate the milestone of reaching 1,000 subscribers, I promised that I would go skydiving. And so yesterday I actually jumped out of a plane. I did it.
Wow.
I faced that fear and yeah, it was exhilarating. So I was very excited, I think, because of it being such a big milestone. I really wanted to attach a big memory to it. And so I thought, what better memory than jumping out of a plane? So I feel like it's going to be with me forever now. It'll just be a left in memory. Yeah.
Is that something that you always wanted to do?
No, I never thought I would actually conquer the fear. I've always had a great fear of heights. And I remember when my husband went skydiving back in 2012, I remember thinking, you're insane and I will never jump out of a perfectly good plane. And then I think I just reached this point in my life where I really wanted to conquer those fears and beat my mind. I don't know. I just had this desire to take control of my life without it being run by fear in so many, like in small ways and in big ways too. So like in the small anxiety of the day to day that I would experience, but then also in, I think, the extreme of jumping out of a plane. So yeah, it wasn't, but I was determined it wouldn't beat me. I was like, no, I'm going to do this. Yeah.
So now to backtrack a little bit, for people that aren't familiar with you and your work, can you kind of give us a rundown on what it is, this business that you have created and what it is that you're doing?
Yeah. So essentially in January, I created a business where I send collective tarot readings in the post for your zodiac element. So it's broken down into the earth, air, fire, and water. And so that's so cute. I'm so glad it arrived. And yeah, we've been sending them them globally, all around the world. And it's just, I think, a way to make tarot more accessible and on a regular basis. That was, I think, the main reason for creating it. I just found when I was being a full-time carer for my hubby who got long COVID, unfortunately, and didn't recover, I found I needed some form of guidance or just some form of hope that I could receive more regularly when I think you want that reading from someone else. You want to get that connection. And so I found that I couldn't really find I couldn't find it. You could definitely get a tarot reading in the post for a personal reading, but they were still, I think, inaccessible for me with being on the disability pension. So we weren't making lots of money. And I went, oh, I really want to be able to make this more accessible on a larger scale and make it affordable on a monthly basis. And that's sort of how it birthed itself. So yeah, it's been incredible. And I think the fact that so many people are resonating and joining, I think indicates that maybe there was something missing. And yeah, it's been filling that hole in the market.
It's amazing because to go from nothing to starting in January to already jumping out of an airplane by June, that trajectory is boom. That's like
It's
a
wild.
rocket ship.
It's a rocket
I mean,
ship.
I see you. I'm like, how is she even keeping up with all of the things? And I mean, you couldn't have even imagined that it would take off like that.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I think for me, when I started it, I really didn't think it would take off like that, because so many people will say when you're doing your research, for male clubs especially, if you have no brand or you have no following, they're like, pretty much you're not going to succeed. You need to have some sort of social media presence before you start a male club. And that was kind of a very common, theme that many people would talk about when you decide to start a male club. And so I was like, oh man, I don't know. Maybe I might have a few people. And I think because I was doing it for the passion of it, it didn't matter. Like I was like, if I have 10 people and we all just love receiving a little bit of tarot in the mail, that's great. And then I think so to me, it's taken me by surprise for that reason, because it's just grown so quickly, and it's just unreal. Like I can't, and I think I haven't processed it. Like I constantly will be, talking to people going, I can't believe it, because it's happened so fast. I can't really keep up with processing the growth. It's like, I don't know. I just show up and it's just been an incredible response to it. So I just feel grateful.
I mean, congratulations, because
Thank you.
what I think people do love, though, from my own perspective, is to watch the growth.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's because it's so unusual. It's so unusual to have growth that is that rapid in such a short period of time. So I would also be like, I think I'm just as interested in it as everyone else, because I'm also like watching this happening live. Like I'm like, oh, look at what the hell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that just trying out for another 100 or another 200, and yeah, it's just been growing so quickly. And so I've also been invested in the story equally as much.
I think people can see, I mean, what I think too, from my own perspective as well, is that I think they can kind of see themselves in you. They see someone that is very relatable, that is enjoying what they're doing, and they're having success at it. And that it makes it feel like I could go after something that I'm interested in too. It is possible. Someone could go from not having any following really to having a relatively big following like that, just by pouring their passion into something that they really enjoy and just consistently showing up and doing it.
Amen. Yeah. And I think that is something that I really want to spread as a message as well, because for me, I worked in corporate, I was in accounting, I was in law, I did all of the standard jobs that you could think, that's corporate life. And I always felt just so out of place. Like I'm too bright. I don't know. I was too, like, I would just have too many colors in my clothes and big earrings and they're sparkling. And I just didn't
I
look
love
like
that.
anyone else. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I fit here. And I feel like I never felt like I made any inroads. Like I never felt like I was getting promoted. I would work so hard, but it just never aligned and it never felt right. And it was always very draining. I'd always feel so tired at the end of the day. And it just felt like Groundhog Day. And so I think seeing the transition of kind of being forced because being a carer for hubby, that was just something that had to happen because of our circumstances. And I probably wouldn't have done this if that part of my life didn't happen. So I think now I really want to advocate to do it if you've got that little thing in your heart, because I found I always had this thing in my soul that I was meant to do something for myself and I was meant to do something creatively, but I kind of got stuck in the fear. And so I'd just kind of stay there. And then I'd be like, I don't know, this is comfortable. So then I feel like after seeing that transition evolve and happen in real time, and as you say, like we're all watching it happen, to me, I think if it can give people the confidence to go, you know what, I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to go and create that thing in my heart that I've always felt I should be doing. But perhaps circumstances in life don't make me feel brave enough. Like, what about my money or my paying my mortgage or all those sorts of things? I think it just shows that if you can fight those fears, kind of like the skydiving, if you can overcome it, I think the things on the other side can be really magical. And yeah, so I hope that it can be a message for people to follow their passions. And I think that's kind of what I'm here to do. I feel like it's my purpose. I'm like, go do your thing. Go do that thing that you really want to do, and people will resonate and and they'll align. And I think it works out when you're doing what is in alignment.
Yeah, I feel that so much. I mean, I have my regular work outside of all of this too. And it does at times, it feels so, I love what I do outside of this too, because I worked really hard to get to where I am in my medical career and everything. But sometimes at the end of the day, when you're working in a job that is at the end of the day, like a corporate situation, then, you do leave feeling a certain level of being drained or whatever, because you're not really controlled, you're not able to control it fully yourself. And so I love that. I love watching all of this for you. It's so fun. It's so interesting, because also I was thinking, you're in Australia, and I don't know, are people like with your tarot and everything, is that something that people are open to and receptive to in that area? Or is it similar here to the US where, it's okay, but it's definitely not super mainstream still?
Yeah, I think we're in the middle of the evolution of that change happening. I feel like it used to be very, like something that you couldn't talk about. And that's why I felt like I stayed in the tarot closet for so long. I was like, I'm just going to stay in this closet where I do it secretly. And like, I only tell certain people who I trust and can be part of that inner circle. So for a long time, I think because of the stigma that was attached to it, it was something that I kept quiet and I kept hidden, which I think is sad. But as as we're sort of going through life, and I think life has become more uncertain and it's become a bit more chaotic, and we're kind of searching for more meaning. I feel like the tarot is becoming, like, we're entering it becoming mainstream. And I have observed that, even big corporations now like Netflix and Tinder have been using that in their marketing strategy to basically say, hey, like Netflix the other day you can basically watch movies based on your astrological sign, and then you can like tailor it to that. Yes. So I'm curious. Yeah. Fascinating. So I've been sort of watching that going, oh, this is big. It's a big deal if we're seeing big corps investing into these marketing strategies. So I think it'll be a watch this space. It is still stigmatized here, especially in Australia. I think similar to the US, but I think we're starting to probably see a pivot when big corporations are using it and leaning into it. So maybe people are becoming more comfortable as we're navigating more uncertainty and wanting something to find meaning. Because, yeah, I think it's a faith in that way of having something that we can sort of hold or seek meaning when there's just so much uncertainty around us. So yeah, I think it's evolving, and I think I'm very excited to see where it goes in the next couple of years.
Oh, me too, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think that here I definitely have I've definitely had people that I know where I even mentioned the word and they're like, "Oh my gosh," and then other people it's like, it's fun or they like it or they want me to read cards for them or they want me to pull cards for them even if they don't really understand. So, for you, how did you start working with the tarot?
I have a funny story. I think for me, the tarot for me came into my life when I was probably 18. So I didn't really grow up with it. It wasn't part of my family. And I think when I was growing up, it probably would have been that stigma of like that, what you see on TV, like, oh, I can read your mind. And like, that real stigma.
That
Fortune
the guy
telling,
on
like,
the wall. Yeah,
like, come in and there's the smoke. And so I
yeah,
think that's
for sure.
definitely how I understood it when I was younger. But for me, I think I've always been connected to source. So I feel like I've always had a connection with premonitions, with just having inner knowing, with hearing things. And so I think when I was 18, as I sort of left the family home, and I bought my first home. That's when the world the universe is like, here you go. Like, you're ready to explore this in your own safe space. And so I then got my home and we went to Harvey Norman, which is like a white goods here in Australia. And I met this lady and we were looking at these fridges. And I remember being like, oh, I said to hubby, I don't want a silver fridge because I can't put magnets on them. Like, that's not fun. I want magnets. And so I remember looking around and this lady goes, and her name was Nola, and she goes, here are all the white fridges. And she just looked at me and she goes, but I didn't show you the silver fridges and I'm not sure why. And we just like had this moment of like we communicated telepathically. I don't know what happened, but energetically we were just tuned in. And she's like, is it because you didn't want a silver fridge? And I was like, yeah, no, I came in here very set on a white fridge. And she's like, yeah, I could just sense it. And then we just had this moment I could probably never describe where I knew we were talking in energy. And it was just this like, wow, that was spooky. And then we
Blinky.
pretty much, I left with her number on a card and she was the first one to get me my deck. And that was it.
Oh,
She was,
wow,
I
that's
remember
crazy.
we pretty much caught up, went to her house and we were playing with the cards. And then, yeah, that was it. It was pretty much when I was 18. And then I've
And
never
it all
left it
started with a
since.
refrigerator.
Oh, in the fridge. Exactly. Which is, to me, is quite fitting because I love food. So, I mean, it's,
There.
yeah, I'm like, this makes sense.
That is so funny. That is such a good story. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was pretty cool. Yeah, and it was just so, like, you can tell it felt bigger than you. You're like, there's something,
Mhm.
like, I was meant to be here and I was meant to meet this person and she was meant to get me on my journey to reading tarot.
That's so interesting because there's definitely been times in my life where it's just like, it just feels like the stars align for certain things. And it's just, there's no other explanation for it.
No, it's like there's really not. Sometimes you're like, it's so profound that you're like, we can't name it and we can't really put evidence to it. But it's too big sometimes to be like, it has to be part of a universal flow. Like, to me, it's just there's been
Mhm.
so many things that have happened in my life chapters that have led me here that I know if I didn't have them, I wouldn't have arrived here. Like,
Mhm.
to me, I feel for so long I had a fear of dying. So I always had this
Oh.
like really big fear of not being here anymore because I felt like it was a zest for life. Like, I love life. I love living it. And the thought of it ending was just really sad to me. But what happened was I did some it's like a therapy, but it's called ENT. And essentially what
Mhm.
came up was this fear of not being here and never discovering what my purpose was, because I always felt like I was here for something, but I didn't know what it was. And now as I've started this and I'm finally in this chapter of my life of doing letters of the zodiac, I finally feel at peace with it. I feel like I'm like, oh, I found it. I found this thing that just I was meant to do and I was meant to sort of share. And whether that's the joy of tarot, but also the inspiration of following your heart and following your dreams, and that you can do it, like you can do it. And I feel now that that has subsided because I feel like I've landed where I'm meant to. But if none of those things happened before, that's where I'm like, it's so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than me.
It is. And I think people sometimes don't realize that these moments that can be so pivotal in our lives, you think sometimes it's going to be this big thing that happens, but sometimes it's actually just a small moment that you then can connect to so many different things. And this small moment starts the ball rolling into something that's so much more than what you could have ever even imagined. I mean, I know for sure that's very true for me. I mean, I had a small moment that just really seemed like nothing. And now, like, my life has changed so much in such a short amount of time. And, I too had felt at a point in my life like I've done everything. Like, I've gone to school and I've done the thing and I've bought houses and I've had my kids and I have my husband, but yet I am just feeling very unfulfilled,
Yep.
you know.
What's with that?
So now what? And now what? Universe, you have to send me something here because I can't feel
This
like I
isn't
want to go
working.
on like this anymore, and
Yeah,
it didn't start with some like big crazy thing. It was just a small thing and it went and, so I mean, for you, it was a refrigerator. For me,
it was a fridge. Yeah. Yeah, and if I never had that moment, if I never had
I
that
never
moment of
know,
just
right?
like, it could have been such a different thing. Like, it could have maybe come forward in a different time or a different way, but I think for me, it propelled all the dominoes. It was just that domino effect of I'm sitting here because of that moment.
Now, I know you had mentioned that your husband, I don't know, are you okay chatting a little bit about your
Yeah.
situation? Because,
Yes.
you had mentioned that your husband has been dealing with long COVID, and I understand that, not for myself, but my mom has been dealing with she got COVID and has been dealing with long COVID for years, and it has completely just,
Oh my
she's doing better now,
gosh.
but it really derailed her life for a long
Long
time.
time. Yeah.
And I don't think people talk about that much because
No.
maybe people are just aren't seeing that. So how is he doing now?
He it's been such a difficult journey, and you're right. It's not something that is spoken about, and I've had many situations where, I'll say to someone in Australia, like, "Oh, my husband's basically bedbound, housebound, and it's because he's got long COVID." And people go, "Oh, that's a thing?" Like, it actually was a thing. And you're like, "Yeah, it's very real." Like, it's real to me because I see it every single day. And for you, you'd see it with your mum and just how much it does rattle and derail their whole life. He's not well. I think it's one of those things of I don't know for your mum, but our experience has been very much that it's a day-to-day thing. So some
Mhm.
days he's really terrible. Some days he's, neutral. Some days you could go, oh, this is a good day for him. Not that it means he's walking or he's going outside, but it just means he's more cognitive. He's able to sort of interact more. But ultimately, I think we've seen sadly more of a deterioration over
Mhm.
time for him than we have seen any stabilization or improvement. So it's been super challenging. And I think that it it was one of the reasons why I felt so desperate to start something for myself because I just felt like I was in a hole for so long with it because I lost all of my identity. I had to quit my corporate life. I lost all of the things that we planned together, even just going on date nights or being able to travel together. Like, because we were a couple that did everything together. So it was like, we're washing clothes together. We were doing the dishes. We're cleaning the house. Like, he was just such a supportive person in so many respects. So to then have that all dismantle in what felt like overnight was just so horrific. And so, yeah, it's been such a tricky thing to navigate. But ultimately, we feel like we've exhausted all of the sort of, at least the Western medicine routes, and we've seen as many people as we possibly can. But I think you also get to a point where it's more detrimental than it is beneficial as well for their health, because it takes a lot of energy to, participate in those things. So I think for us, we're kind of just in this making the most of every day in what we can, and more in a management phase than we are in a find a cure phase.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
because it's something that is new. I mean, this is all something that just people just within the past, however many, like 6 years, less even, since when people started first getting it. And so I understand that, but I think that it's so brave of you almost. I mean, because I can imagine how challenging it must be to feel like you're in this situation, you have someone that you love, you're caring for, but then you have to take care of yourself too.
Yeah, you do. Because
Mhm,
otherwise, it's almost like you're going to sync with them and you're
mhm.
the person who keeps everything going,
Yeah.
especially when there's chronic illness involved. Like,
Mhm.
you're the one who's keeping e all the shit together. You're
Oh,
you're
yeah,
kind of
for sure.
you're kind of it. And so I think you'd
Oh, yeah,
understand that too with kids. It's like you kind of everything
I
stops with
do.
you. So you
It
kind of
does.
have it does. And so if you're not functioning, or
Yeah.
if your cup is empty, or if you're unwell as well because you're getting burnt out, or all of those things,
Mhm.
it's very much becomes unsustainable. And so I think while from the outside, it might be like, oh my gosh, how does she manage caring and then running this business? I think for me, it's because it actually fills my cup. It's something that
Yes.
having the community and having people messaging you, and like this, all the connections that I've made, it's just been so spectacular
Mhm.
to me. It's
Mhm.
actually been a net positive. And so it's something where
Absolutely.
I get time for myself. I get to have
Mhm.
a creative outlet. I get to
Mm,
spread joy and do stuff I love.
mhm.
And so it actually makes me a better carer. It's something I can then take and show up
Preach.
rather than depressed and like it's another groundhog day. It's another day in the same
Yes.
four walls.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, preach, because I think a lot of people get in these situations where they feel like they're caring for someone, or they're caring for their kids, and they feel like they're not allowed to have anything for themselves, that they have to completely give themselves to everything around them. And you see that a lot. I mean, you see it a lot. I see it a lot with moms. I mean, especially,
Yes.
and I know for myself that I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better friend when I actually pour into something for myself. And it's not just me constantly giving, 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 giving to my family and my work and everybody else around me, because I have something that I'm excited about.
Yep. Yep. And it
And you
and
have
it
to have that.
lights up your soul. You
Mhm.
have to have that. I could not if I like walked away from this episode, for me it's very much a you have to take care of yourself and you have to have something for yourself, because otherwise what you've got nothing that helps you keep moving forward in the darkness. There's nothing like, because it's like this is just always shit. It's just always like
Yeah.
there's grief, and then there's hardship, and then there's, oh, I've got to do this washing again, and you're just in the same cycle of nothing lighting you up and everything just being kind of dull, that I think it's no wonder that it doesn't feel good, and that you're, kind of sinking into it. And then once you're in that hole, it's so hard to climb out of.
Oh,
And so I think
so
for
hard.
me, so hard. And so I think it's one of those things of when I was in my support groups for the carers, so I've had some carer experiences where you go and you talk about those in support groups, and you're so right that so many of them feel like it's selfish and that they can't physically bring themselves or emotionally bring themselves to do something just for them. But you can see the effect that it has. You can see how much they're suffering because there's nothing that they have to look forward to, because it's just a constant, it's just so challenging being in chronic illness. And so I think if you can have a small portion of joy to make it something that it's just a sustainability piece for me. It's something where it's like, it will mean I show up for as long as I can with managing burnout and also mental health, because it's very real. Yeah.
Very real. Because
Very
I
real.
always tell, I always tell in my family, everybody in my family, I'm like, whoever's the lowest in our family, I mean, that's the energy that everybody's going to be feeling.
Yes.
Everybody's going to be, we're all affected by the energy of what's going on. I have my oldest son, he, and I've been open about this on the podcast and in general, he really struggles with ADHD, and that really, he gets really fixated and locked up on certain things and has a lot of meltdowns and a lot of things. And it just kind of like derails the whole family. And we're just like, oh, we're in this spiral again, And so again, it's like, oh gosh, here we go. Let's brace for it. Here we go. I feel it coming on. I feel another meltdown. It's just, oh my gosh, and so I have to have my things, I have to have my little to just kind of bring it back, because I don't want to be someone that's just walking around frustrated, raging.
Yes.
I want them to see my calm. I want to be a mirror for goodness. I mean, of course, we all get pushed to our limits. At times.
That's part of our life journey, I think. It's all part of it. Otherwise, we don't grow. So it's one of those things of we do all get pushed to our limits. But yes, it's one of those things of if you don't have some form of balance, because it's a balance. And that's where it's like you'll see that if you're constantly in that energy and that mode of just not pouring into yourself and not having that balance, it's just not sustainable. Like the balance of life is just so important in so many different ways. Yeah. And they feel it. And they feel it too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They feel it too, 100%. So now on this journey that you've had, I'm curious, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm just going to prompt you anyway. Do you have any other, aside from the refrigerator lady, do you have any other spiritual mentors?
Yes. I was very lucky to meet Marcella Kroll. And that story, I think, is very magical, because as I started Letters of the Zodiac, I had been talking to a friend and they were like, hey, maybe you should Google your name, like see what comes up, that curiosity Google. So I was like, yeah, let's have a look. Let's see what comes up. And so I ended up Googling my name. And then I know the first thing that came up was Marcella Kroll's website. And I was like, what? There's another Marcella Kroll. Like I'm Markella Kroll with a K, but she's with a C, and that is just so strange. So we like looked at this website and then realized, oh my God, she's a spiritual mentor. What are the odds of that? Like not only do we share basically the same name, she's also in the same space as me. And so I ended up seeing that she did the mentoring, and I was like, I have to sign up. It's a sign. There's no signier sign than this. Like, I need to meet this person.
Same one.
And it ended up going on. And I said to my husband before we went on our first call, I said, I feel like she's a Pisces. Something's telling me like a download that she's also a Pisces. And so I get on the call and I'm like, are you a Pisces? And she's like, yeah, man. And I was like, what? No way, this is insane. And then the second thing was, she goes, what's your middle name? And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I was like, no, there's no way. Anyway, we have the same middle name as well. So I was
no
like,
way.
Yeah. And so we were just like,
this is wild.
Magical. It's magic. And it's like those synchronicities that you're just like, it's just it's bigger than me. And it was very cool. I was very lucky to have her on my team, of especially entering into the business world of tarot as well. And it being, quite like, reading for me is not new, but being in business in this space is new. And so there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of, boundaries and protection and all of those things. And so I was just like a sponge. I was like, I need to learn as much as I can from you. So it was life changing, and I couldn't recommend her mentoring more highly. It was I can't wait to do it again. I'm like, all right, I'll see you next year. We'll do another
That's
catch up in
amazing.
12 months. Yeah. So it was very, very special.
I think I must have seen, I'm thinking that's how I came across you, through her or something. I mean, I would think that's
Possibly.
probably how I came across you. But I mean, Markella, yeah, she's someone that I personally had been following just on social media for, I don't know, a couple years, 2-3 years. And then I
Oh,
had the
wow.
opportunity of attending her retreat back in February, and getting to meet her in person. And I remember just like feeling, just like driving there to the retreat and feeling like very like, I don't know, because to me, she just has this like very amazing, like spiritual, magical energy. And I'd never really been in a space with someone quite like that before. And so I'm
Yes.
like, am I going to be intimidated? Am I going to be whatever? And she's so sweet and lovely.
She's so
And now I feel
sweet.
honored. I mean, I truly feel that she is a friend of mine. And I actually
Ditto.
just interviewed her for the podcast last week about her gorgeous new deck. And I just think that it's so cool that you guys have such, I just really wanted you to share with me. I wanted to hear your amazing,
The story.
your connection story,
It's very cool.
so we
But
can
yeah,
fangirl about
we can
Markella.
fangirl. I've got her oracle card, which I
Mhm.
asked to get a signed copy because I was like, we need a mug
Oh,
this
cool.
occasion. So yeah, I was able to get one from her. So that was very special. So it was, yeah, it's one of those things of, she's just magnetic. And I, I couldn't, that experience was just meant to happen. And again, one of those things of like, it's bigger than me. It was just, the odds of that happening are just so small that it's just,
That's so
uh,
crazy.
it's so crazy. We were just meant to meet
Even the
each
middle
other. And
name.
that was when she said that. I was like, no, I can't cope. Like, I don't think I will cope with it. And then she's like, what is it? And I said, and I was like, okay, all right. And we were like, we'll get our
That's so,
ID. Like,
oh, this
so
is too
yeah, so
much.
cool. It was too much. It was too much.
I think there's one person I've looked up my name before, and there's someone that has my first and last name. I don't know about my middle name, but they live in the UK somewhere, a woman, and I think she is in fashion or something. She's very different than me, but I'm like, oh, it's so interesting if there's somebody else in the world that has your same name. And I mean, and the fact that you guys have so many similarities, like, woo, so
It's
cool.
so woo. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's a story that will just like be with me forever. Like you said, like one of those dominoes where you're just like, that was cool. That was, yeah, something that will just be cherished because it was just too
I'm telling
magical.
you, if people tell me magic's not real, I call BS on that.
I call
Magic's
BS.
real.
It's so real.
Yes,
It's
magic is
like,
real. I will die by that.
magic is real because for me, I find it like difficult to almost find any rationale that it doesn't exist. Like when people are like, like, Tara, that stuff's BS. I'm like, dude, have you seen our system, solar system? Like, have you seen that the sun rises every day and it's set and like we've got oxygen? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you? I actually can't comprehend this conversation. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
what are you talking about? Like, this world is magical in of itself. Like, no one knows how we're
Mhm.
really here. We hypothesize, we have, but there's no real concrete, this is how it's all come together.
Mhm.
That in itself is magical to me. Like, I'm like, if you just like step out for a second and just like see our solar system and our planets and like, what are you talking about? It's like something I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
passionate about. Like, I don't know how
Oh
we're
yeah.
having this conversation. I'm
It's
debating
interesting
it.
too because I mean, it's interesting because I mean, I constantly I mean, I think it's easy for people when they don't understand a lot of these things potentially that we're into or whatever. It's easy for people to kind of tease. I mean, I get teased a lot, oh, it's
Definitely.
just your crystals. Oh, blah. I'm like, well, actually, there's a lot of really interesting science to it as well. It's not just all woo-woo stuff,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I come from a very solid science background. It's not like I'm just out here floating on a cloud. I appreciate appreciate all of it.
I've done a lot of study in science. Yes. And even just hearing that to me, I'm like, exactly. They can coexist. And I think we struggle with things coexisting. I think we're always wanting it to be this or that. But they're both, one just explains what we feel and what we see. And that's kind of the beauty of science. It's just a way for us to describe and explain what's happening. And so it's like we just haven't been able to find that yet. But I don't think we're meant to. My gut is we're not actually really meant to discover it in what it is, like in concrete, like, oh, this is what we're tapping into, and this is, I think it's what makes it special. So I kind of like the mystery of it, and I hope that it's
I agree
something that
100%.
you just and I just think they can coexist. Because I love science. I think it's the reason we are so evolved and how we understand so much about the world, and it's magic. Like, this is so off topic, but I watched a documentary on bees and how amazing bees are, like, and how they
So amazing.
colonize and the jobs and how they program the new bees. I'm like, it's fascinating to me. Fascinating. So to me, I love it. I love all of those things. And I think even just that, it's like, how do we can explain what they're doing, but even just how they program the new bee, I'm like, it's magic. It's unworldly.
It really is.
It really is. And so I love to admire it rather than fear it.
Oh, absolutely. I used to work when I was in college in my college, I worked in the entomology museum, in the bug museum in my college for 5 years. And we had one of the professors there. He was like in his 90s, and he was like the world's leading researcher on bees. And he was just so cool. And he would still come into work every day in his 90s to research his bees because he was so passionate about them. And I was just like, wow, that's so cool. But I feel like I was so young at that time that I couldn't really, looking back, I couldn't really appreciate all of that, as much as I now, thinking about that, I didn't appreciate it in the way that I should. But I mean, I just find it fascinating, all of it. I mean, for sure. I mean, bees, ants, all these insects, all these structures. There's so many things in the world. And I agree with you 100%. I don't want to necessarily know why or how everything. I like the mystery. I think that's beautiful.
Yes. Same. And I don't think we need answers to everything. And that's what makes it fun. And I think for me, it's one of those things of like, have you ever played The Sims, the game? Do you remember this? It's like a computer game where it's like you basically create a life.
Oh, yes.
Like you can build a house, right? And whenever you would get a cheat code, which allowed you to have all the money, all of the things, it stopped being fun. And I'm like, that's kind of like if you had all the answers and if you knew the book from the start to the end, you'd kind of be like, oh, well, I know what's going to happen. So I'm just not going to participate because it's the mystery that makes it magical, and it's the mystery that makes us show up because it's like, well, what could happen tomorrow? I don't know. You got to stick around and find out. And so I think to me, it's similar with the tarot is that I don't tend to like to be concrete with tarot because I think there's just so much mystery and magic and so many decisions we can make that alter and change our path that I think my biggest thing with the tarot is when people are like, well, that wasn't right. And it's like, but we can evolve, like we can change. And that's why a reading isn't fixed. It's not fixed in time. So it's the mystery of it. And it's the way that we can have so much more power over our destiny and it not just being written in the stars of this is concrete. This is what it is. Yeah, so I love the magic. I think it's beautiful.
Are you a collector of tarot decks, or do you have one that you go to all the time?
I'm a traditional girly. I got like me here right now. I'm like, I don't know why. I think because of where I'm at in my journey, I think I'm very much someone who loves tradition. Like I'm a tradition. Like I love tradition. That's I think the best way to describe me. But I think as I've sort of started being online more, I'm getting access to so many more art and imagery and decks and cards. And it's the first time I've been like, oh, I really, really connect with this deck. Because whenever I'd go with like the bookstores, I'd be like, I never had a connection. So I'm very big on the deck calls you. And I'd go in and I'm like, I don't have any like strong feeling that this one's for me. But I've had so many now that I'm online that I'm like, oh, that's magic. Like I love the interpretation of how that imagery, is associated with,
Mhm.
the dynamics of that card. So to me, I'm evolving, but I have been very traditional and I tend to stick to that in my in Letters of the Zodiac. It's very much the traditional Rider Waite tarot, but I'm growing, I'm looking, I'm starting to feel called to different decks, which is exciting because I think I love people's perspective and that's what it is when you're seeing these decks is you're seeing how people interpret that dynamic of that card, like the tower or it's like how are you visualizing that? Because we all have our own unique ways of experiencing the tarot and how we see those symbols and those experiences. So I love it. Yeah, it's been very cool to see that online.
Yeah, there's so many different decks out there, but I agree. I think initially, early on, it's kind of nice to use the traditional imagery. I have a deck that I really like to use that's very similar to traditional imagery. It's called the Modern, maybe you've seen it, the Modern Witch Tarot deck. It's pretty popular, but I like it because it is a little bit more modern and I'm very much an aesthetics person, so I love
I love
the
it.
way the
Yeah.
cards feel. I like the colors and the things like that, but it's still very true to the original deck,
Yes.
because I have a lot of that I just like a lot. I have a lot of decks that there's a lot of decks I like that I mostly just like because I think they're cool and pretty, but I don't really use them that much.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I think there's like two almost buckets. Like you kind of have the ones that you're like, this is beautiful, I love it. But then you've got the ones you read with as well. Like there's kind of two camps. And I think, yeah,
Mhm.
I love seeing people's creativity because I'm very creative. So I love seeing how people interpret it and then create their own meaning into their own deck. I just think it's again, I'm like, it's magic. And I love it.
It is magic. Now, speaking of your creativity, I love how creative and cute, like you come up with so many cute ideas for your social media. I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I was inside her brain because I struggle with that stuff so much." I think a lot of my struggle just comes down to the time to execute, which is
Totally.
a big thing.
Totally.
But you have so many cute ideas. Do you have any history of, I mean, did you use social media much before? Because it just seems like you're so good at it. You're so natural at it. And I'm just like, yes, I love
That's
it.
sweet. Well, firstly, thank you. That means so
Yes.
much. That means so much. I think we are always our biggest critic, and so I'm very mean to myself about what I'm doing. So to hear it from your perspective is very beautiful, and I really appreciate hearing it. But secondly, I don't know. So you know how you're saying your eldest has ADHD. I tend to think I definitely have ADHD. There's someone in my family who's diagnosed, and I'm like, yep, I've always felt like I've had that hyper focus. And I think that kind of shows in my content creation. Like when you love something, you just hyper focus. And so I'm
You
like, great,
go
great, great.
high focus.
Yeah,
Yep.
like
Mhm.
I'm in. And so that I think is you can kind of see that in how, consistent and how much I am sort of creating. But I think for me, I didn't have any sort of experience in it. What happened was so when I left law and I went, this isn't for me. I then went into legal recruitment And I was like, okay, I'm going to try something that utilizes, because I had my business and law degree. And I was like, maybe I do something that's, a combination of the two. And as part of that, I had to create content for marketing. And so we were kind of just given full reins to explore what that looked like and create content. And we had like a whole room to create. We had a social media team, not a big team, like one person who would help you with that. And so I think I vicariously learned a lot from that experience. And then when I left, I then created a DIY TikTok account, because I was renovating my house. And I don't know how, but I had a video hit over 1 million views. And I was like, maybe I don't know, maybe it's a pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to see patterns, and then I kind of apply that to what I create. And then I think with being able to then do it again with letters of the Zodiac and sort of replicate it in a different way, I think I just see stuff and I'm like, oh, that clicks. And it's a pattern identification, which maybe comes from my neurospicy. And so, yeah, it's just something that kind of clicks to me. It just makes sense. I don't have to, that's the best way I can describe it, is I just do it. I don't really think too much about it, but I've always sort of identified patterns. And so maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I think, yes. Oh my gosh. That really, I mean, it doesn't resonate with me personally, but I hear my husband's, who has severe ADHD also. Oh my gosh, my house is so chaotic. He's like, whoa, pattern. He's like, that's his favorite thing. He's like, oh yeah, that's my new pattern. That's my pattern. I'm like, your pattern. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a pattern. It's a pattern. And then you're telling me it's a pattern. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, what is this? I don't know. It's just like maybe the way our brain is wired is we can just see patterns. And that's why I think I was talking about very strongly about seeing the pattern of AI, and how seeing AI captions has been something that I'm like, we need to break this pattern. Can we just write with what we think? Can we think and just write and create and just be our authentic selves, rather than me constantly pattern recognizing the AI? I'm like, no, not again. I can see that we've all just gone, hey, can you write this caption for me? And then just slap it in. I'm like, no, come on. We can think and be more critical.
We have to start thinking. We have to keep thinking for ourselves.
We feel and
let
what we
AI.
Absolutely. Thinking for ourselves. Correct. Yes. Take over everything. Yeah. And I think it's like, even if, I think it's a tool that is here to stay. I think it's something that's going to very much be part of our future. But I think we can even do little things to help keep our minds sharp and help keep our critical thinking, and not offload everything. Because I feel like that's kind of the balance we're needing to find, is kind of got, oh, let's just use it for everything. And I'm like, let's kind of tilt it back and rebalance it, because we don't want to just almost like become powerless because we just give out power to this robot, this AI machine. It's like, let's think for ourselves. We can do that. We can do it. We can do it.
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't use it, because I do, but I use it like a lot for helping, maybe like organize things, or like
organize.
Or it'll
bookkeeping.
help me with the trip. Oh, yeah. I've never used it for that, but like, or for like,
how do I expense this?
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's all bad. And some people are on the side where it's like, it's all bad. And I don't think it's all bad. I just think that there are certain aspects where we need to still make sure that we are aware and, and still doing things for ourselves.
Correct. Yeah. And
for
I think
sure. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't ever use it.
No, ditto. And I think that's something I really wanted to sort of clarify from my end, was I was like, it's not that I don't use it. I'm just almost conscious. I'm a conscious user. And it's like just making sure that we're still remaining authentic in how we show up and express ourselves, because that's what people relate to most. And that's what I found from my experience with my page and the growth, is it's because it's me. It's not a robot. And that's something that I think is just so important
You can feel
it's so important to, I think, articulate that if you're going on that journey, not outsourcing it all to AI and keeping you as part of that foundation, because it's actually so important.
Totally. So where do you see, I mean, your business is growing so rapidly, and I can imagine that it's hard to even, as we mentioned before, even hard to process the speed at which things are moving. I mean, so how are you managing this? I mean, what do you see going forward? Are you just trying to stay on top of it as it is, or do you have like more visions for what you want to do, or what do you see next?
For me, I think I want to find a better balance between doing personal readings and the collective readings. And I haven't been able to strike that balance yet because I feel like I've been so on the ground with just the growth and making sure that we're getting out the mail that we've already got and making sure that they arrive. So I feel like I've had so many people wanting to connect on a one-on-one level, and I really want to offer that. But it was something where it's like I haven't been able to do it just because one, it's very like I have to manage my energy with being a carer. So connecting and sort of tapping into that regularly can be quite draining for me, especially being a Pisces and a little
Absolutely.
bit sensitive. So I have to manage it really carefully. And then also, just with then trying to manage the growth as well. It's been a hard balance. So I think that is what I would love to be able to work towards in the next couple of months. But I think big plans would be I would love to do clothing or jewelry because I am so big on
Ooh.
I'm so big on self-expression. Like I love color. I just love fashion. I love it. But that is like such a big space to enter that I'm like, that's probably a 5 to 10 year plan where it would just be like, I'm trying to get
Who
these
knows? Mini rock
who
paper
knows? I know.
scissors.
I know that's so true. But I feel like I've been trying to get these t-shirts out and I'm like, oh my God, just dealing with the back and forth of just a t-shirt has been really an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bigger sort of task to tackle. But I don't know. If I was gonna say what my intuition says, I feel like there's gonna be maybe a book or, like, something international, maybe some public speaking, like, being on a stage.
Yes.
I can just, like, motivating people, like, just meeting people because I would love to meet people. Like, I'd love to be like, "Let's do a meet and greet in Melbourne, and then we go to the US, and then we go to the UK," and yeah, I would love to embrace that.
Yes.
But, it's gonna be very much a logistics of how does hubby get the care he needs while I go and do that. So I think we've got things in the pipeline and we are working to creating a more sustainable framework for the both of us with caring and having more support. So I think it's gonna evolve, but that's what my gut has sort of said is yeah, I think I'll be sort of talking to a large audience because I feel like there's a message that people need to hear around what they can achieve and that they
Yes.
can follow their dreams and do it. Just you can do it. And just showing that it was, January and then we're in June and it's just been insane. And so you absolutely can, especially when it's something you're passionate about. People resonate with passion.
Mhm.
So,
They
yeah,
do.
they do.
I fully believe that, truthfully, having this podcast, like my favorite thing ever, that even, I mean, people always ask you or ask me, oh, well, or, they always want to know like how much money you're making and this and that. I'm like, it's not even about that. It's about the connections and the people that I've met. You
Totally.
can't put a price
Yes.
on that.
No,
I can't
and
put a
it doesn't
price on
even
that.
cross my mind.
Mm-mm.
Like, when we're sitting here, it doesn't even cross my mind. It's like, I think we've just got a passion of something we're passionate to talk about, and I think that's why people resonate because it's so authentic. We're just like, we just love
Yeah,
this, and we wanna talk about crystals, and we wanna talk about tarot, and we wanna talk about all the magic in the world, and yeah, it's not something that crosses my mind. And I'm such a big person on, like, the energetic exchange of, like, you give and you get. Like, what you give is what you get, and so I tend to follow that in my business so heavily. Like, I'm not looking at the numbers strictly. Numbers are important, but they're not fundamental to me. Like, how I look at value is like it's a reinvestment where some people will be like, "Oh, adding that is an extra cost." But I'm like, "But if it changes the experience, you can't put the value on that." Like, it's
absolutely.
yeah. So I see things
Hmm.
very differently a lot of the time, and I found I actually got stuck in corporate world because I'd be like, okay, we're just looking at the numbers, but what about there's another side to the exchange here. Like, yeah, and so it was always not something that resonated with the corporate world.
Oh
But
gosh, I feel
I'm
that
so
so
big.
much.
Yeah, I'm so big on it. I'm like, yeah, and when I followed that, look what's happened. Like when I followed this, make it about the people, genuinely care about people, and it will follow. Like it's an exchange. It's not self-centric. And that's why when it's self-centric, it's stuck. It's like it's only one way. And it's not how we serve. Anyway, super passionate
No,
about
it's not.
it.
No, I mean it's beautiful. I mean, that's what I try to explain to people even about the podcast here. I try to explain like it's called Big Crystal Energy, but it's not really about the crystals. It's really about having a big energy, like having joy, having
Yes.
excitement, having passion
Yes.
for your life.
Just
You know,
like
and
a
I
big
try to
crystal.
explain it
It's
like a
the
big
energy.
crystal, like you're holding, yeah,
So
like,
profound.
oh gosh, this crystal I have. It's like, okay, I think about like, okay, I'm
It's a
holding this
whopper.
big, beautiful crystal. It's like, think of all the energy that it took to make this crystal, that the earth took to make this crystal. That's the kind of
Absolutely.
energy that I want to have, the
In the
joy that
pot.
I want to have for my life. So it is about the
Yes.
crystals, but it's not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's been an evolution too. I didn't really realize, I didn't even understand that for myself when I even started all of this. You know, I didn't, you know,
Exactly.
some
It
of the lessons that
evolves.
we learn, we don't know that. We don't know
No,
all of
that's
the
right.
lessons from the beginning. There's so many lessons that come as
Through the
we
journey.
evolve and as the journey.
Yes.
And it's all and it's the journey. It's really the journey. There's
the
not
journey.
some people work so hard for that, like that goal, that end point.
Yes. Yes.
When I get to this point, it's like, yeah, but the journey is what you're living in every single day.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I could not agree more. And I think we're so constantly fixated on the outcome that it's not until you get to whatever it is you were trying to achieve that you're like, oh, like for me, 1,000 subscribers. It's like you get there and it fades so quickly. But when I think about the journey has been spectacular. That is where all of the heart and all of the memories have been made and the growth. It's not the actual goal. It was the journey of having everyone, support you and building a community and seeing that there are people who want tarot in the post and all of those things. So to me, it's so funny how quickly the goal fades, but it's actually always been the journey.
Absolutely. So now that you've already jumped out of an airplane.
I don't know. I know exactly where you're going. I don't know. Oh,
I mean, not that you have to. I think you've achieved. I mean, please don't do anything too risky. We need you around for energy.
Yes. It's a really good point. I'm not sure.
You don't have to top it. It's okay.
No,
you don't have to top it.
I think we've got like a life bucket list moment done. I think the thing for me would be traveling. I'd love to travel.
Yeah.
I'd love to just be able to experience more of life. And yeah, it's culture to me is also something I find so much beauty in, and how
Absolutely
we all experience life differently. And I love it. Like I was in Peru in May last year and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Like I was just like, it's so amazing and magnetic, and just like seeing all the rocks and seeing all of how, like you said, like how it's all formed, and like the condors, the big eagle, and you're like, oh my God, like it's amazing. So I think that would be something I'd love to plan a trip to experience more of the world.
Absolutely.
And take everyone with me. Like, come with me. Who wants a plane? Like, yeah. Like, are we doing a retreat?
I want to come.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I've kept you on here for an hour. I want to know a couple other quick fun things. What are you listening to lately? What do you listen to when you're packing when you're doing all your work? What are you jamming to, girl?
Okay, girl. I've been getting into the high vibrations lately, and just like songs that are very spiritual, actually, which is quite new for me. But I think like I've had this playlist called High Vibrations Only, and it's like some of the names are like Grow, Glow, and Flow. I Want It, I Want It. Say It With Me. So just high vibes. We've also got Queen and Herbie, The Fool, like, just all those sorts of vibes. So that's kind of been on repeat for me recently. And I don't know, I just think it's a good energetic grounding I've found for me, which is just like coming back to something that helps you
Absolutely.
to, ground, but also not limit yourself. Like I love the mental sort of side of it where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
anything's possible. Anything, look at this. Like anything is
Mm-hmm.
possible if you can believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Absolutely. That's so cool. I love that. Are you watching any shows? I don't watch anything,
I
so
don't
I'm
watch
always interested in what
anything.
other people are watching.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't watch
I'm
anything?
also I'm not I did do a bit of the Andor, which is like a Star Wars sort of attachment. Love Star Wars. So I did do that, but in terms of
Never
like
seen Star Wars.
see, yeah, it's okay. Look, I'm not that person that's like because I know people get some like Star Wars fans like
They get
watching
very nuts.
everything. They do. I'm not a nut,
Yeah.
so but I have sort
Okay.
of been expanding my sort of Star Wars viewing because you've got the core movies, and then now I've been doing a bit of the shows and stuff. But yeah, no, I don't watch a lot of TV, believe it or not. I am into F1, so I love the cars and the racing. That's kind of where I'll watch that on the
Oh,
weekends.
interesting.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
cars. So that's what I kind of
Okay.
watch. But aside from that, I'm similar. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't know why. Why do you think
Okay.
that
I
is?
mean,
Is it because you're busy? Like,
what?
is us saying,
Me,
why do
I
you
just
think
don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
what?
I'm just too busy. If there's
Yes.
any time at the end of the if I by the time I am at work all day, I come home, take care of the family, then I always have lots of this stuff to do, and then I feel like I'm just going to collapse. So if I
Yeah,
even look at the TV, I just am like,
actually,
I'm
you're
just
so
out
right.
cold.
I'm out. Yeah, I think that's so right. I don't feel like I have a spare second. Like, I think you need time to commit to sitting and watching something that it's kind of like, oh my God, I've got to plan this like a holiday. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Usually the only time I ever watch anything is if I'm literally homesick and I can't get out of bed, and then I will watch
Exactly.
documentaries on serial killers.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, it's fascinating. It's so fascinating.
It is.
The psychology. Um,
But that's it. Well, Markella, where can all my listeners find you? Where are you? You're
I'm on.
where are you located? What are you up to? Tell us
I'm
everything about you.
Instagram. I'm Instagram, so predominantly Letters of the Zodiac on Instagram and TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, so I'm kind of on the 3 main channels. But you can also see me on my website, which is www.lettersofthezodiac.com, and we can basically interact in all of those platforms, which is awesome.
Yeah, your little thing, it's such a little treat to get it in the mail. You get, I love this. Okay, so you guys, just before I let Markella go, you get stickers. Okay, who doesn't love stickers? Something's wrong with you if you don't love stickers. And I got a little bunny.
Yes.
I love a bunny. I have a bunny on my arm tattooed. I love bunnies.
That's so great.
Yeah. And then you get your Zodiac, not Zodiac, you get your tarot cards. You scan a QR code, you get to listen to music while you're doing your journal prompts.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that is so cute. You get your letter, beautiful. You get your little everything I have gone through has prepared me for where I am today.
Yes, which is like
how timely. That's exactly like what we were talking about.
Exactly. Love it.
This is so cute. This was such a great idea. Honestly, this was such a cool idea. I've been telling all my friends about it. I'm like, this is such a cool idea. It's not even, it's just so fun. I love it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that we got to meet and talk.
Ditto.
Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me. I know you're like a whole day ahead of me. You're Sunday. It's Sunday. What time is it where you are?
It's Sunday. It's 10:16 a.m. in the morning here. So it's actually great. It's a great time for me. I feel like it might be nighttime for you. Are you getting into the evening?
I mean, it's 5. Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
5 in the evening here.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to go to the store and get apple juice. So
yeah, because you're like, they wanted apple juice and I actually don't have it. So I did make a promise.
Yeah, I don't have apple juice. I promised him I would buy 2 bottles of apple juice.
I was there.
We're there. You witnessed the apple juice, crisis of the world. Oh my gosh.
Massive crisis.
All right. Well,
Perfect.
I will let you go. You guys, I will put Markella's links to everything in the show notes. Check it out. Her monthly subscription, it's very affordable and highly recommended. It's so wonderful. She is the best, the cutest, sweetest person. Check out her Instagram. You will be very inspired and you might want to jump out of an airplane. I personally do not, but
you never know.
we never
thank
know.
you so much.
Maybe in another life. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for spending this time at the threshold with me. If you want to go deeper, follow me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash, where I share daily crystal magic and behind the scenes of this liminal life. You can also find resources, previous episodes, and ways to work with me at bigcrystalenergy.com. We're also on YouTube at Big Crystal Energy Podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, please rate it and review it and share it with a friend that you think would connect with it. It would mean so much to me in helping build this beautiful community of other magical friends and crystal workers. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.